each one of you. So, as I said in the collective reading, I'm going to be trying out these more intuitive reading sans cards. I might go back and forth on some other stuff, but for right now, I'm going to stick to it being for the month of November until I get a little more back into the schedule of like weekly and sometimes daily stuff. So, hope you enjoy. Now, Taurus, I'm kind of getting that whole kind of stereotypical Taurian vibe of the bull in the china shop sort of thing. And like I don't know if this is just like you have your normal cycles, you have moments, you can own it, you have your shadow side too, just like we all do. And everybody has every bit of every zodiac in their chart in some form or another, so we all have that bull in the china shop sort of thing. It's just when you have Taurus sun, moon, or rising signs, you have a little more emphasis on times in your life when that may happen. Sometimes it's because you got emotional, got yourself into some sort of a bind, and then end up feeling like the bull trying to get out of the china shop to where you got yourself into a fragile situation. Other times, it might be other people that bring you into a situation to where, like, maybe they did something that you felt like you needed to go after them to prevent them from doing something and ended up in a china shop and then got in trouble because you were the bull and they were the person running through the china shop, and like all that fragile stuff got broken. Or it could be just that like life circumstances came in. You never know. That I will say, I am picking up the sense that there are some of you that have been more pirates and potatoes in your lives and have made choices that you knew that you should not have made. And not just in the past, like that have continued. And one of the unevolved energies of Taurus is very like kind of negative sort of selfishness, and it's usually based on fear of abandonment and like a lack of self-love, like feeling like you need like that, because Taurus is ruled by Venus. When it's in an unevolved energy, you can feel like you need to get lots of energy sources of love from different people around you, like one partner isn't good enough, or one interaction isn't good enough, or one job isn't good enough, and like then you start to kind of call in the like shadowy sides of the second house, which is materialism. So then it becomes like status and possession and career and power and things like that, but it's not on the good side. So if you feel like you're resonating with that and you're really seeing the kind of the mirror of those sides of yourself in this Scorpio energy, it's a really good time to one, embrace your darkness in the sense that we are all human, and like trying to run away or deny or not be accountable for those parts of yourself. And not only is it not only is it creating chaos for those around you who really would like to be able to know the real you and give you the abundant love that you as a Taurus deserve, but it's hurting you. Like it's creating almost these like impossible self-fulfilling prophecies of the bull in the china shop, to where no matter how many times you think that you've got something that you can balance, to where like maybe it's like a marriage and then like side relationships, or no matter how many times you think that you could do multiple jobs and do this and that and then do a business and then do a side project or things like that, like you end up trying to balance so many plates on sticks that then you have more room for on your body, and then it all comes crashing down, especially when, as as a consequence of putting out that sort of energy, when we're so overly focused on status or career or filling like a lack of self-love void within with exterior things, then it starts to ripple out, just like when we do good stuff, and when that stuff starts to ripple out, then it starts to affect other people. Then and part of unevolved Taurus energy is trying to control everything. I mean, you want to talk control freak. And being a Capricorn, I can resonate with this because I've also had a control freak side. It's definitely an unevolved earth sign thing. Not that the other elements don't have it, just it's definitely there for us earth signs. And Taurus in particular can have a really big streak on that. And so the thing is, like, you have to get to where you can acknowledge that there is that part of you before you can, one, get the bull out of the china shop without breaking more stuff you got to pay for, because you break it, you buy it. And two, like no longer being the bull in that scenario, as in the bull is bad or something like that. There's nothing wrong with being a bull. You know how many different spiritual paths like totally revere bulls and stuff and cows and things like that. Like, and like I said, it's connected to Empress energy. It's the, it's in there, and so it's one of those. It's hard to even put words to it. And I'm also trying to think about like how I communicate with those who I know are Tauruses too, because we each kind of have our own zodiac language of sorts. Now, the best thing I can say is like it's not like pridefulness is a challenge, and owning our shadows is a challenge until we get there and realize it really never was that much of a challenge in the first place. Like I've seen some people go from, unevolved energy to where they were, they had a lot of infidelities or they did a lot of shadowy things, and the minute that they started to get into a place to go, maybe I'm polyamorous, or maybe, maybe the spiritual path that everyone else is with is not for me, or maybe, I want a different sort of lifestyle and I'm going to like live it out loud, and I'm going to call in towards me the people that want to do this sort of stuff with me, instead of trying to hold on to the people of my past that I've identified with, or that feel like they're the least likely to leave me if the rest of this stuff doesn't work out, sort of thing. And once you can get into a space like that and you can own that stuff in there, a couple things happen. One, you beat up on yourself a lot less because you realize that everybody's human. Like these are not things to hate on yourself for. Sometimes it can feel like they are when we kind of hit those shame cycles of the healing process. But if you get through those and keep looking for the gratitude in yourself and in others and in those experiences, and you keep looking for how can I make better feeling choices that make me feel like I'm a good person? How can I make better feeling choices that make me feel like a good partner and a good parent? How can I make better feeling choices that don't result in me feeling like I suddenly popped in and appeared in as a bull in a china shop, to where no matter which way I move, I'm going to break something. And the more momentum that you get built towards becoming the kind of person that you want to be, who has that stable emotional inside and outside environment, the easier it becomes to even see a natural healing occur without any of that bullying or force needing to happen in most of the relationships that you probably were trying to hold on to in the first place. But you also make room for new ones to come in that can surprise you, that can have all of the elements that you felt like life just unfairly removed from you because you had no room in your life to allow those experiences in because you were too afraid to get hurt, you know? And it's just sort of a beautiful process as you go through there. I feel like the visual that comes into my mind is like you having a meeting with yourself. Like if you were to sit down and journal and like give a name and a short like personality description to the main parts of you that you monologue with in your mind. Maybe it's like your ego and your anger and your sweet side and your loyal side and your anxious side and your mother side, even if you're masculine, like Taurus is definitely connected to Empress energy. It's also connected to Hierophant energy. So I'm not negating the masculine in there, but there's definitely feminine energy in there. And with unevolved Taurus energy, especially in women, we can see this kind of attempt to take on the masculine, creating toxic masculinity and smothering most femininity within there. And you really want that balance. There's a reason that Taurus is a particular energy that can fit with both. It's not even just Empress. Like some people also associate it with the High Priestess. She's more Virgo associated than Taurus, but still there is Taurus in there. And like there's plenty of feminine and masculine energy that exists within Taurus, so there should be a balance in there. That's where you want to get to, you know. But it feels like, like just embrace the absurd and have a little fun with it. Write it out. Write out the characters of you if you were to separate them, and imagine that you're sitting at the round table, like the Knights of the Round Table or something, and you're having a chat with each of them about like what they want. Include your inner child in there, and like look for that balance of things. Look for like don't try to push out all of the shadows, and also don't embrace only the shadows. Like you don't want to be in a place where you're like, I'm only ever good, or I'm at least better than them, or those people did worse than me, so it justifies what I did. Like, don't go there, and or everyone's a threat, and I got to do something to protect myself. Don't go there. Let that stuff go. You don't have to live like that. As a Taurus, you're already immensely spiritually protected and very tough. You don't need to create more synthetic toughness, right? It's already there. It's in your energy. And then also don't go towards the other side to where like you can never allow yourself to have an ego moment. I mean, our ego is what allows us to enjoy cake and haunted houses and Oreos and dancing and love and things like that. Like everybody gets to a place where it's like kill off the ego, but the ego actually has a lot of valuable representation. It's just that the ego's first main job in the first part of our lives is to protect us. And so it takes on every sort of critical voice and every sort of conditioning that we grew up with and repeats that back to us like an echo machine. You have to clear that out and retrain it so that you can enjoy your shadowy moments and not feel weird about it and not care about anyone that might think you're weird about it. Like live your life, live your life the way you want to. Like even if you want to even if you want to be in unethical non-monogamy and like do that stuff, that's fine. But like don't be small for other people. Like if that's the way that you want to live your life, be bold enough, be at least audacious enough to say, yeah, this is how I live my life. And I choose to live my life this way. Either it's satisfying for me, or I'm being selfish and I'm enjoying it, or like whatever. Like, and if you don't like the way that that feels, like even I have a hard time kind of like letting those words come out of my mouth. But if you don't like the way that that feels, don't blame anyone else. But don't try to be like all light, like I'm all good and it's never my fault, or I have no ego or I'm ascending ego, and don't be in the other side of being like I'm a big bad mean person and I ruin everything, or everyone's gonna hurt me anyways. Like look for the balance in the middle to where it's like, yeah, there are gonna be some moments that pain will be experienced, and there will be some uncomfortable moments of that, though usually those experiences then lead to pleasurable experiences, especially when you're lining up with who you want to who the like I want to say with the version of you that you tell other people that you are. Like, if you tell other people that you're loyal and kind and nurturing and that you help a lot of people and that you're brave and authentic, then lean into those, including with your shadow side. And that the Scorpio energy will aid you, so will Venus and Capricorn. I believe Uranus is still in your sign Taurus too, so like you've got some aid right now to do some serious up leveling. And pick whatever way you want. There is no right or wrong answer. Even if you do end up bull in China shop and like maybe you get some karma on that stuff, maybe you end up like you were standing in there precariously staring at all of the fragile stuff, but you weren't knocking any of it down, and somebody else got mad about how maybe you like left a cow pie and they stepped in it, and then it just suddenly domino effects and knocks over the whole thing. Like if you like to live your life that way, then rock it, rock out with your socks out or whatever. So if you don't like that, if it's not satisfying, or if the people around you that you want to keep around you are being hurt by it, then reconsider maybe some leading a different chapter this next 19-year cycle. All right, y'all. I love y'all, and I will see you in the next video.